What you do with your podcasts and all the rest, you're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
Yeah. If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics.
Tommy's Mike.
And Tanner?
Tanner's Mike. Bring the heat.
That's a cool catchphrase, Tanner.
What was yours again? Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded.
Tanner's just bring the heat. I don't even have a good one. Grass is bad. All right, guys. We're back this week. Another episode of the Massenomics podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Tyler. Next to me is Tommy.
What's up?
And across the way is Tanner.
Bring the heat.
We're trying out new catchphrases today.
You know, something you can put on a shirt, really take the world by storm.
It was like when we tried inventing our own nicknames a couple weeks back, and it was like we're all the beast. It was like on did you ever see that movie Hot Rod?
Yeah.
He's like, my name's Rod, and I like to party. And then they go to the next guy, and he's like, my name's whatever, and I also like to party. And they're like, no, nobody parties with me.
I'm the only one that
I'm the only one who parties.
Welcome back, Tommy.
Oh
yeah, I missed a week. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Tommy and his late travel arrangements.
We mostly talked about you and secret things about you.
I can hardly wait.
You're actually going to have to listen to that episode now.
Oh, I will. I was when I heard you guys were going to do it without me, I was kind of excited because I'm like, I get to hear one and not know exactly what's going on.
Do you guys listen to the episodes still?
I listen to every single one. Sometimes I'll wait maybe like a week or two, and then just to really distance myself from them a little more, and then I find it more entertaining. But
I watch / listen to it as I get the video ready every single week. So
that's right.
Then before that, I used to listen to every single one, and now sometimes I still just listen to part of it, or I watch it on YouTube through my phone just because I want to see the camera cutting and see how it's going.
Yeah, see all your handiwork.
cinematography.
If no one else is gonna watch it, I'm at least gonna watch it.
I got all these finance degrees. At least I'm putting it to good use with my video editing.
Yeah.
So this week I guess we'll just jump right into.
Quick question, guys. Too. Someone had left a comment wanting to know which one of us sounds like Butthead. I think.
Yeah. Did you guys see the comment?
I did see that.
Did you see my response to that?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
That's what I honestly felt.
I really thought, very objectively, it could be me, it could be anyone, and I still don't know who sounds like Butthead. So,
what was that on? What post?
I think it was on Instagram. I think
it's the group with us with. We got to talk about that too. Who we had visited this week, but it was Scrotus of Nevermore.
I don't know who he is.
Not a friend of yours.
I don't know who he is.
Okay. For all we know, it's a bot that just leaves that comment on everyone's video.
Who of you guys is the one that sounds like Butthead of Beavis and Butthead? And I said, I'm not sure which one of us that would be, but they say if you look around the poker table and you can't spot the sucker, it's you. Because I was like, gosh, I don't know, does one of those guys sound like Butthead? And then I was like,
do I sound like Butthead?
Maybe I sound like Butthead.
Well, and that's what I thought too. And I was talking to Kevin. Kevin, I think, saw the comment, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know who really." And I'm like, "Well, even someone that isn't one of us didn't know either." So maybe it's our Midwestern dialect.
I had to refresh my memory on which one was Beavis and which one was Butthead.
Yeah.
And I was like, none of us sound like Beavis. Maybe all of us sound like Butthead.
We probably all sound like Butthead, is what I think.
Yeah.
We have a big, we actually kind of have a lot to get through this week from just say this week in Massenomics.
Where in the world
strap
was
your thinking
Massenomics?
caps on.
Yeah.
We're going to go around the globe.
Basically, I want to start first with, this is actually the most recent one, but Bud Jeffries, friend of the podcast, Bud, an unconventional life Jeffries. If you don't know who Bud is, you haven't been listening to the podcast for very long.
And before, if you still don't know who he is, just stop right now, check out his Instagram. because you need to get
Absolutely.
familiar with
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
life
unconventional
situation.
life.
So, Bud is rocking his Weekend Warrior Massenomics lift shirt. And I'm going to spell this out for you. Bud is doing a 1,000-pound barefoot yoke in grass while the yoke is on fire, while dragging a tire behind him. I don't need into split with. Oh, and then he does the splits at the end with his face on the ground because fun in America, rocking his Massenomics shirt. And I'm gonna play this video. If you're listening, you should definitely just go to Instagram. You need to be following Bud Jeffries, and you need to watch this video. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna play this video right now. We'll give a little play-by-play for those that don't have the luxury of the video. So Bud's lifting 1,000 pounds, and that shit is on fire.
Yep.
And I think
Dripping
he
fire.
said he went about, what did he go, about 20 foot total?
Yeah.
He goes about halfway, sets it down and disconnects the tire, and then kind of cuts back in, and
the
every
lawn is on fire.
fucking thing in this thing is on fire. Like, everything is, there's probably, I don't know, a 10-foot, like
Yeah.
two different 10-foot circles of
his
fucking
yard
grass that
that's
is
on
like
fire.
really on fire.
And
too.
then he whips off his belt, thinking you would normally think he's done, and he just drops right down into the splits.
Into the full splits.
And we're talking about probably close to a 300-pound man.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I'd
think
say
he's
Bud's
over
probably
3.
like 310, 320.
But 1,000-pound yoke is
Pretty
nothing
gangster.
to mess with.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that's like
What did his comment say? The first time trying this in 12 years?
yeah.
Which, okay, yeah, and I did misunderstand that the first time I read it. He said the first time I've done 1,000 pounds on a yoke in 12 years. I thought when I read it first, it's the first time I've done this in 12 years. Like
this
how frequently do you train with yokes on fire? And
Yeah.
like, is that a common lift that you're concerned about PRing? But Bud is a badass.
Yeah,
The shirt
and-
really pulls the whole
And the
thing
shirt
together,
just
too.
really makes the whole thing pop. One of my favorite parts was the comment that said, "This is like a Michael Bay film." And I totally agree. Bud, you did good.
Because if you pause it right there, there is just fire and rusty metal and muscle and smoke everywhere.
And splits.
Splits. It's like some shit out of Bad Boys 2. Like the camera's whiling around all slow.
Bud's down in Florida, so we made it to Florida.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got that southeast part of the country covered.
Yep.
What else did we have? We had I should be out in front of this because of my busted ass basement Wi-Fi.
Previous before that would have been Brandon Allen. We
Oh,
spotted
yeah.
him in the first time he's worn a shirt, and it just happens to be a
thought-
Massenomics shirt.
Yeah, here we
So,
thought.
so
we
now
were
we're going to jump on our tour of America
Yeah.
all the way over to Las Vegas.
To Las Vegas.
And again, all these people you should be following on Instagram. But Brandon Allen, it was funny because we sent Brandon this shirt like a couple of months ago for sure, right?
Yeah.
And then what we didn't realize after we sent him the shirt was like, oh, wait a minute.
He never
I've,
wears
I've
shirts.
never seen Brandon Allen
We
wear
just sent
a
a shirt to a guy that's known for not wearing
ever wearing a
shirts.
shirt. But so we sent him one, and he made sure he got the sleeves off it right away. But it sure looks pretty sharp. Here's Brandon Allen doing some safety squat bar work in the old Weekend Warrior. Brandon is
fit chick.
down. How much weight is he down? Like 60 or 70
Yeah.
pounds now?
Yeah, I
70
hadn't been
pounds, I
paying
think.
following him super close, and so when I first saw this video, I was pretty surprised how lean he looked. I
Yeah.
remember him being a little bigger than
He's
that.
about 300 pounds now.
Yeah, I
think.
mean, he's still a big guy.
Right.
Yeah. But he was, what did he say, like 360, 370? He kind of had a post a while back that he was a kind of a ticking time bomb at that point. He was
Right.
pretty heavy, couldn't hardly tie his shoes.
Breathe. Fun fact about Brandon Allen, he's a sponsored athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know about his sponsorships at all?
Oh yeah, you guys have mentioned this before.
He's probably the only power lifter that I know that's sponsored by weed. Right?
I think he's the only one I'm aware of.
I don't think there's a whole lot of athletes in general that have that sponsorship. So
No, but what are his sponsors? Do we have any on here? We should plug them for him.
Well,
I don't even see him, but-
he runs Filthy Power Gym or whatever, and he invented the vert pull. So if you know what the vert pull is at all, that's his baby.
And Brandon's a good follow on Instagram, so he is
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Brandon Allen. That's Brandon_Allen88 on Instagram. I think he actually even he had 2 videos with the shirt on, which was funny because he went from like
where he's using the vert pull to do his filthy mornings, he calls them.
Just
right here, yeah, where he went like 300 consecutive posts without shirts on, like I would do.
I'm glad we kind of were the reason to get him back in a shirt.
Yeah.
We popped his shirt cherry.
Yeah, if you're gonna wear a shirt, I can't think of a better one to just throw on.
And what else did we have? We had
We better hop in our
hop in the old Massenomics wagon.
and take a trip to Omaha.
That's right.
The heart of the Midwest,
Middle
here.
America.
Yeah. Don't just call it a flyover state.
And actually, they had some activity down there at Omaha Barbell this week. I saw.
Yeah.
If I would have known that,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think we should
that
have
would-
fucking done something about it.
Yeah, I guess I knew that it was coming up.
Way to go, Tanner.
You didn't.
Because you know what I did this weekend? Nothing.
But Stan Efferding and Ed Cohen were both there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busted ass basement internet is doing its thing.
But the
right now.
one we were talking about is Rob Philippus, Quads Like Rob, another good follower, another good friend of the Massenomics podcast. And he posted like 7 videos.
with his shirt,
Yeah.
It was like a full-on infomercial. Almost.
Yeah. And he was also using the safety squat bar and doing some deadlifting. He pulled a pretty big deadlift in it. I think it might have been like 730 for a double or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was hanging out with the Rhino and Ed Cohen this weekend. I imagine they were talking about Massenomics.
Spreading
most
the
of the
good
time.
word.
I would say that's probably most of what that whole seminar was.
Stan Efferding, friend of the podcast.
Definitely.
I mean, he did talk to us.
Both of us, all of us.
That's right. He certainly did talk to us.
And just by default, that makes Ed a friend.
Did
because
you
he knows
ever?
some people.
Did you ever say on the podcast what you said to Stan?
I don't
'Cause
know. I
don't
should
think
tell
we
that
did. You
even
should
if I didn't,
tell that story.
This wasn't on camera, unfortunately, but I just went up and I just wanted to meet him. He was standing at the cooler booth. I think it was after you
at the Arnold.
Yeah, at the Arnold, and you had already interviewed him. and
I also think that it seemed like, well, at least when we were around, maybe because it was early, but it seemed
There was
like
nobody
there was
there.
not a lot of people that knew who he was. Because I think there's a lot of just bros
Yeah.
at the Arnold. So like, I don't know. It was kind of odd.
Yeah,
he
it was
sort of
surprising.
not there, and a lot of people were like surprised by his product. Like, oh, that's really neat because he sold a lot of them. But I'm like, haven't you heard of this?
yeah, we talk
Like, look at this fucking guy. How do you not know who he
look at
is?
his arms. But I walked up to him and I said, like you're gonna shake hands and maybe get a picture, and I just looked at him like square in the face and said, "Hey, aren't you guys the guy from Shark Tank?" And he looked at me with like a very confused look, like he didn't respond with anything. Like he literally just gave me like a puzzled look. And I said, I'm just kidding. I know who you are, Stan. And then he got a good laugh out of that. Like that's how someone would know him.
Yeah, you were on Shark Tank yesterday. I know who you are.
It's probably about the 50th thing down on his resume.
So I talked to him about his Shark Tank experience then, and I said, yeah, I watched you with that. I was just disappointed, how short your bit was of the whole show. You know, it was like the first one, and it was probably 5 minutes, and he was talking about how crazy that experience is, how much they cut out, and like how little you know what's going to go on.
And that it drags out for months and months. Like, you don't even know. Like, you can go there and film and not have it show up on the show.
That's
and
what he said.
could
You
go there
don't
and
know.
film twice.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's crazy.
Even when you do it, and even when all that happened, you don't know if you're going to be on the show. But he said it's crazy how it can all boil down to just a couple minutes of TV time. You know? But so that's our friend Stan Efferding.
So Stan Efferding was here at Omaha Barbell, and which is where Big Rob here was doing some things in his Weekend Warrior shirt. Maybe you should get yourselves one if you want to have quads like Rob. But what is this here? 535 by 2, taking it easy. That's warm up stuff.
I bet that one's
625 by 2.
He's always
In
got some
untied
different
shoes.
on.
yeah.
Is that a thing?
He's always kind of rocking the kicks.
Yeah, he is kind of the kicks man.
Rob is what's he weighing now? Did you see? I thought he had a
Somewhere
post
around
earlier.
like 320-ish or something like that.
He cut down to 308 for that.
Yeah.
For the U.S. Open, and then
There's 7:15 by he couldn't quite lock
By
out the
one and
second
a
one.
ripped hand or
Yeah.
something.
Ouch.
Owie.
So we made it to Omaha.
Yeah, we made it to Omaha.
And we also had a Chicago visitor at the
Oh,
at the
yeah.
gym this week too.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Jacked and Homeless, the world's strongest homeless man.
Yeah, so give us a little background into that, how that all came to be, Tanner.
Scuba Steve, he works out at Barbell Central with his coach is Ernie Senior, and he lifts with the other Lillibridges and Huck Finn, and he's an over-the-road trucker. So I don't know if by homeless he just lives in his truck or what the homeless exactly
Probably,
is,
yeah.
but he was coming from Wyoming, and he was just on his Instagram story and said, does anyone know anywhere in South Dakota where I could go get a lift in? I need to bench tonight. And Huck Finn, friend of the podcast, said, well, check out the guys at Massenomics. So he got a hold of Brandon and Ross.
Yeah.
And they got
awesome.
and Ross ended up coming and letting him in, and he came and did a heavy bench workout and then took off. And he drove probably 150 miles out of his way.
Yeah,
Just to
to
come
get-
to the
Yeah,
gym.
yeah,
So that's dedication right
Yeah.
there.
That's the appeal of Massenomics, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah.
yep. So we owe Huck Finn for that a good reference
Yeah.
out there.
Steve is fucking huge,
Yeah.
by the way. I've been trying to gain weight for a couple of months now and finally think I'm putting on some weight. And then this guy walks in and you're like, oh, that's a totally different kind of big.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
He's got a very big upper body. His bio is 2 DUIs in one night, knocked out last boss, rolled city truck in mayor's yard.
Yeah, I saw that on there and just thought there's probably some very good stories with all of that.
Yeah, if we'd have had more time, we could have probably drugged some equipment down there and probably had a pretty funny podcast. But
For sure.
he didn't drive 2 hours out of his way to have a podcast. I think he wanted to lift.
He was a really good guy, though. Good to have him in there lifting.
Ryan got in a bench with him.
Yep.
Sergeant Ryan.
Yep, Sergeant Ryan benched with him. That's all he did. He benched and took a shower and on the road.
About that funny story. So Steve came in, got to introduce himself, and got him set up in the bathroom so he could go change and stuff. And I didn't give much thought to it. He comes out, he's sitting down tying his shoes, and I got to run in and take a leak. Apparently, truck drivers who lift take the gnarliest shits, dude. I think that was a record setter for the gym at Massenomics.
And there's
for
been
sure.
some nasty
There has
ones,
been
too.
some crazy poop that has fouled up that bathroom.
Yeah.
But man, I walked in there and it was like on the walls. It would like you could like I bet if you smelled the mirror itself had that shit smell.
Had that
in it.
stank
So-
on it.
Yeah.
So props, Steve. Well done.
You're doing good.
Steve also is a Pioneer guy.
Yeah.
So we did get to snap a couple shots of his belt Matt made for him. Custom belt, jacked and homeless. This is when you have nothing, anything is possible. But so we got a picture of that on the old platform and
Yeah.
threw that around on the internet. So it's kind of sweet. We got it's kind of interesting how that works. You can just kind of get people from all over the place.
Talking
when
more-
you're as world famous as we are.
That's right.
Let's look at this little trip we just took
You know,
here today.
I think that
and
sums it up best with Massenomics. When you have nothing, anything is possible.
that works for us.
It was
and
like
Steve.
destiny that they came together.
I was talking with Steve about, he kind of brought it up that him and Huck and a couple of the guys really want to come out here and maybe do some sort of seminar, like
Yeah.
in exchange for them, getting like a hunting experience or something, hanging out.
We could probably line him up with some pheasant hunting.
For sure.
I don't know.
So look for
Yeah,
that in the future.
that'd be super.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could fill that for sure. I'm trying to think, did we have anything else come up this week? We did drop the our what do you call it?
10
10 strength.
10,
Yeah.
10 strength podcasts.
So that's
that we
out
put together.
there. You should find that. Chad Wesley Smith did comment and say that since we're in the middle, that means we're the best.
They got the center. It's a collage photo of all the podcasts that we included, and Chad was happy to see that they got the center shot.
Honestly, it's the vests that got him.
That's
that got
true.
him in.
Yeah. They are nice looking vests.
I'm trying to think of who was it that shared. Oh, was it Starting Strongman had saved shared the Strong Talk one. Some guy chimed in and said, well, Kale, when you do your list, you make sure you're cocky enough to put your own podcast on there too. And he was like, oh, I would, and I'd do it fucking number one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you wouldn't you?
Wouldn't it be really stupid of us not to put our own podcast on that list?
I mean, this is very subjective terms by what you think is good and bad. So
That's the first sentence of us being on there. Like, if you thought we were dumb enough not to include ourselves, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is. We did fucking make it.
Yeah. That's like one of the few things we get out of it.
Let's see here. I'm just rolling through. It's kind of been a busy week, you guys.
Yeah, we got some stuff and some shit.
the stuff and the shit just keeps rolling.
All the stuff, all the shit. What else did we have out of the gym? I don't know that anything super cool happened at the gym this week. Nobody shit them.
I saw something pop up that I kind of like, the 5x5 boys.
Oh, that's kind of my
Kind of like that.
my new
name.
hashtag thingy is like 5x5. I'm on a different program right now, and I'm doing it with Ross from the gym, and we're saying that to each other jokingly in text, like as we're talking about what's coming up on the program. Like, it's basically mostly all 5x5s of some sort or the other for every lift, and like saying like 5x5 crew or 5x5 boys, or jokingly saying that if someone's not doing a 5x5, like, are they even working? You know, like just saying that everything else is meaningless if it's not a 5x5. So yeah, that's gonna be an ongoing thing for
It's
a
a
while.
new lifestyle.
Yeah, that's 5x5. It's a lifestyle.
Our new lifestyle brand.
By fives and fives, it's a
Fives and
lifestyle.
fives.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did we want to jump into Tanner's sack right away?
Yeah, I've got a smelly old rotten sack here today.
As usual.
Dump it on us.
All right, let's see what we got in the sack.
We don't need to do the eyes closing thing today because some of these items in the sack are used. So like, it would be a pretty nasty trick to like.
But put your mouth on it.
Yeah, like open your mouth. Well, first of all, I guess I'll bust these guys out. This is worth mentioning what we got going on here.
Those are
have been worn once, so
these are the
touch
Spud
at your own
Ink
discretion.
Yeah.
2-ply.
Those are the Spud Ink
Knee
2-ply
sleeves.
knee sleeves. That's right. Well, we're working on a review for these right now. That might be out by the time that this comes out. If it's not, it probably won't be too long after that. Mm-hmm. They make 2-ply knee sleeves, single-ply knee sleeves, and single-ply elbow sleeves. We have some of each, and we're
Excuse
testing
me.
those
How
out.
rude of me. Phone calls.
So I'm testing out the 2-ply knee sleeves. Tommy's got a pair of the 1-ply knee sleeves, and you've got a pair of the elbow sleeves. And yeah, well, I guess we'll have more input on those later. But I guess the what's different about these
Is the pulling
is this
straps.
right here.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for something that is maybe different than.
Have you been flipping them down when you pull them up?
No, that doesn't bother me. I guess
It doesn't bother you
no,
anymore?
No, well, that never really did.
That
me.
was
I
more
never-
of a me thing. And then
Yeah.
for my last time, so what we're talking about here is with these pulls, there is some sewing that happens on the inside seam there, and anytime you have seams against skin, it can have the potential for discomfort. And I know the first time in the gym I threw them on, and I was like, oh, maybe this will be uncomfortable, and then
I don't know that it hurts.
no, it
You
doesn't
just know
hurt. You
it's
just
there.
notice it.
rubbing,
And then
yeah.
once I had actually, the first time I used them, I did a deadlift session, and then I was moving to some safety squat bar.
Yep.
And I threw them on, and I think it's because I was kind of in the zone already and warmed up. It wasn't even like a thing. The seams.
So you didn't
even really,
notice it
No,
then,
it didn't even like
okay.
really cross my mind at that point. But yeah, the two biggest differences for me using these compared to your standard kind of like neoprene sleeve is that one, it has the sleeves, so they're very easy to pull on. I think I wear a medium, or I do wear a medium in SBD, and I have a large in these Spud Ink ones. And I would say that those two sizes are very comparable to each other. But these are so much easier to get on. Like after I'm like warmed up and sweaty, like putting on SBDs is like it's like not a thing that I'm even gonna really mess with because it is gonna be a big hassle. Whereas these, you just grab those handles and you pull it right up, and it takes a second. It's super
Yeah.
easy. And then the other thing is the material's a little different on these too. I don't even know what you would describe this as, kind of a mix of like a heavy cotton canvas type texture.
Yeah.
With some sort of
Stretch
elastic
to, yeah,
in it.
because there's some stretch properties to this thing. I don't even know. I feel like I've seen some of the other guys. I think have
Yeah,
sleeves
this
at the
is
gym.
not an
that-
uncommon
Yeah.
material. If it's not neoprene, I think this is usually what it is.
Yeah, whenever you don't have sleeves that aren't neoprene, they tend to be this material. But so I hadn't used this before, and I think it's pretty comfortable, and it keeps my knees just as warm as the neoprene. So my first impressions were I did like these. They were nice.
Yeah.
I like that they stay warm, but they're not as much of a sweat factory as the neoprene. Like because I could wear these if I pull like neoprene over my elbows for my elbow sleeves, like it gets fucking greasy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't have that problem because they do kind of breathe a little bit.
Have you worn yours for?
Yeah,
for
I've worn them probably 3 or 4 times in the last week or two.
So what did you? What did
I
you-
really like them.
Yeah.
PR'd my bench in them and everything.
So
So
guaranteed
with
to provide a PR. You're
Yep.
saying.
so that you can use these when you're putting them on your arms. Also, you just loop one on a
like a
on
barbell
rack
or
or
a rack,
something,
yep.
and it works really well too.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
actually couldn't imagine pulling on a sleeve that's that tight.
without that.
Without that, I don't know how you do it.
We can't say much about the long term durability. Obviously, we've only had them for a little while and been tested them, so we can't really say much about that. But
And Tanner, these ones are now. This is even a little different than your standard sleeve, being that these are 2-ply.
yeah, these are 2-ply. So I wear SBD knee sleeves, and I wore both this week. I wore this for one of my heavier days, and my SBDs for one of my heavier days. And I can't say it's not a wrap. Like
Yeah.
Like here's what I said. Here's how I described it to someone else. Like if you on a scale from 1 to 10, if a wrap is a 10, my SBD knee sleeves are a 1, and these might just be a 1 also. But
Yeah.
if they were any more, they would be a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like so, it's very close to the same as.
So you
all
didn't
the
feel like you were
sleeves.
getting like extra bounce out of the bottom, or it was helping you with heavier
No,
weights.
I was hoping that would be like, but when I got heavy, it was just like, oh, still really hard and not like wraps at all.
Yeah.
So like I said, like to me, my opinion after just one time was that it's like exactly the same as my,
It's just a little more heavy
SBDs,
duty than
yeah.
maybe the single ply version.
Right.
These double ply.
right, but not like
Yeah.
it's not going to have the effect of wrapping your knees tight.
Yeah.
Which
No, it's not
to,
supposed
like to you,
I don't think-
that's probably not a huge value to you, really.
right,
Either.
no. And also, like, my SBDs are over 3 years old, so
Yeah.
they're just a little worn out. So these are just nice because they
They're
fit
crisp.
tight,
Yeah.
again. But, yeah, I like those. Oh, I guess just for comparison's sake, I won't get these too close to you guys, but here are my
Keep
SBDs.
that away.
This is my dinner
It's like a
table, Tanner.
biohazard.
I eat lunch down here. What are you doing?
But there are the
So height wise, are
SBDs.
these things about
oh,
the
yeah,
same
I don't
length?
know. Let's
I've never
let's
checked
stack
that.
them up here, I guess. And I just like now having a rotation that like because I'm squatting 3 days a week right now, so I don't want to put the same sweaty knee sleeves on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
they'll
them a
just be
chance to dry.
permanently wet.
Looks like the SBD is an inch longer.
Yeah, just about.
Yep.
So I don't know.
I mean, that's some groundbreaking
yeah,
Discovery
journalism we just did right there.
there's
Yep,
those.
yep, looks
This
about
just
right.
in, 1 inch longer. None of us know what that means, if that's better or worse, but that is
Looks like
definitely
about
a
an inch
fact.
longer. And then the last thing I brought here is these puppies. I don't know if we can see.
Wait, why don't you explain these puppies to us?
These puppies are a set of knee wraps. These ones happen to be the Slingshot World Record wraps, formerly the Lillibridge World Record wraps. So at our gym, we don't have a lot of guys that wear these or compete with them. We've got a few guys, me one of them, that have competed in wraps a couple times. Larry has a couple times. But you do not often see anyone at the gym ever training with these because it's just more of a
just
pain
like
in the
one-
ass.
it's just
That's-
one more thing to
Yeah,
do.
I think
Yeah.
that's honestly why you don't see people doing it, because it's just more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, short of I suppose training with them solely to get used to them for a competition that you just happen to be wearing them in.
Right.
Other than that, yeah, there'd be no reason for at least us around here. to do
No,
it.
there's some guys like I know Steve Gentili out there. He says that he competes in these because he had some knee issue and like this is the only way he can
Stay up and
squat.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose there's some people out there that are like that. So I've had, you know, I've squatted in these in a couple competitions, and like I was saying before, the sleeves are a 1, and I would call these a 10. And you know, in comparison of what you get out of them,
Yeah.
the sleeves, what you get out of them is a warm,
A warming
secure
sensation.
feeling
Yeah.
knee.
Yeah.
I would call it.
And a very wet knee. Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
like, so if you did a 1 rep, Tommy, if you did a 1 rep max squat in bare knee versus sleeves, like, do you think it's actually going to make you do more or just feel better while you're doing it?
I don't think it would make a difference for me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I
it made a
don't-
difference of 5 pounds, I would say that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's being
Yeah,
generous.
for me, I don't think there would be, and even the sleeves I do wear, my knee sleeves just aren't like super tight, or you know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're just for warmth. And
Yeah,
I don't
it
believe
feels better.
I don't believe for a second that I would get more out of it, short of just maybe a pound or two for like comfort or
Yeah,
familiarity.
yeah.
Like, but I don't think that there's anything in my knee sleeves. But I think the wraps are a different story.
Yeah, the wraps
uh,
definitely are a different story.
and we're about to find that out.
Yeah, so neither of you have ever been wrapped.
Have you ever?
before?
You've
I
been
never
wrapped?
have.
I
no.
have never been
because
wrapped.
my whole thing
So-
is I've never been in a competition where I need knee wraps.
Right.
So
I think I should do both and you also need to do both knees because you have to experience
the sensation of living
your one other knee already wrapped, just sitting there like, come on.
Okay.
You know, like
all right.
Yeah.
like the time. So who wants to go first?
I think Tommy will go first.
I'll take it.
Okay.
He's got the angle over there, and I will. I'll run camera number 2 here.
So I'm going to be off the mic, and I'm going to
I'll
take
give-
my
I'll give
sweatshirt
some
off
play-by-play.
because wrapping someone's knees is like
A workout.
a little bit of a work, and I should have these tighter wrapped and stuff, but we'll just make do.
All right.
Since and then once you get done, you'll just have to stand up and do
I
a
was gonna say I'm
body
gonna
weight
yeah,
squat.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is it gonna just magically make me jump through the ceiling?
and
It's gonna make you feel like if I do a good job getting them tight enough, it's gonna feel like
you will not
can't
be
get
able
into
to.
a body weight squat.
You won't be able to get depth unless Tanner and I both climb on your back. So let's see. How can we film this here? Tommy, see if you can set this up.
Just pointed right towards my groin.
Mostly, yeah. This is gonna be. It's a wide angle, so this is gonna be like 80% genitals on the camera here.
So do a
Get a good shot of Tommy's.
and point your as I'm going, like point your toes up. Yeah, like
Really?
that.
All right,
Yeah.
so he's got legs
Like
straight.
keeping my calf
toes
muscle
up.
tight.
Yep.
That's already uncomfortable.
I'm
And you haven't even touched me yet.
That's when it gets really uncomfortable.
So on a tightness scale that you could go to, how tight are you gonna go here?
See, I've never hardly wrapped someone else's knees, but I'm just gonna try to go pretty tight so we
Okay.
can talk about how
'Cause-
shitty it feels.
And here, I can hold the mic here.
Yeah, hold that for Tanner.
Tanner, because didn't you say that you've been left with bruises from these things before?
Oh yeah, in the back of my knees, big time. It will stay after a meet. It'll stay purple for like a good week.
But wasn't it Ernie Lillibr? Wasn't it Senior that's himself said that it's not
Yep.
about the tightness?
That's right.
I gotta say, this is already very uncomfortable.
Yeah. What's your
Like
initial?
my
thoughts here?
freaking tendon above my kneecap feels like it's about to pop off.
I don't think you're doing this right.
Yeah, like a part of me feels like it's pulling the patella like in a direction it shouldn't go.
And what about like?
Should I be like trying to like flex my quad during
Yeah,
this?
kinda.
Well, you fucked up.
Oh, now I got this loose jelly quad squeeze.
What about the length of the wrap, Tanner? Are all these the same
I
length?
think these are. I can't remember if these ones are 2.5 or 3.
I got to be honest with you. I already feel like my left ankle is falling asleep. Like, and we're not even done with the first leg here.
And this is, I think, when things start to get serious, because now you're like, all right, get this other one on, and then get them both the fuck off of me, right? Also, how hard is it to tear them off once you're done? Because I
you
assume
leave like a little pull there. And what I didn't do that they would do at a meet is once you get that last strip pulled through, then they crank that. Like, that adds like this, where it goes from like a 7 to a 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
But I won't do that because it's just tiring.
Oh, man. That is...
You want to go out in the garage and just PR real quick, though?
I feel like my leg's going to be sleeping by the time you're done with this one.
So keep it pretty straight and point that. Yeah, there you go.
There's it.
So we're on to leg number 2. The GoPro is zoomed in on Tommy's _D. And that's a Tommy Instagram handle joke there, guys, if you haven't been listening. So did you answer the question on the length of the wraps, Tanner?
I don't know if these are 2.5 or 3 meters, but that's the common lengths are 2.5 and 3.
Ugh, metric system.
Yeah, I don't.
So what's that, like 50 feet?
I saw a funny thing the other day. There was like listed all of the countries that use the metric system, and then they list countries that don't, and they're like, well, countries that don't are the only ones that have dropped nuclear bombs on civilized people, invented the automobile.
Okay, you get...
All right, let's see it, Tom.
Okay.
What do you think right now, just with the on?
Incredibly tight. Like, I'm having a hard time, like, getting my legs under me to stand up off this chair.
That's
You have to
And
normally
my feet look crazy vascular right now, too.
Do you have to normally get pulled up out of the chair, or can you stand up and squat?
I can stand up on my own here. Okay, I'm going to go for it.
All right, let's see what you got.
Gotta ditch the headphones.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to go down all the way. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I got to call that good right there.
So you can pull them.
Just the idea of walking up to a squat rack is like...
Really unpleasant.
Yeah.
It makes the walkout a lot different, and
Yeah, that is...
Is that why it's like a huge problem sometimes if there's like a step up or stairs?
yeah. Well, a lot
To
of
a
times
platform?
people once you're wrapped up, someone pulls you out of your chair because it's.
Yeah.
Oh,
So how's it feel to have them off there?
really good. Like, I couldn't believe, like, how much work it is to get to parallel with those things. Like, it's...
It's like a...
Oh, my headphones are on. Sorry.
You've got like bruises kind of already.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can definitely see where the wraps were, but...
So I didn't have them I had that
You
would
weren't
be
trying
like
to change his life.
no,
there.
but that would be like reasonable to train in. Like at that tightness. I just my technique is I don't know exactly what I'm doing. There's different ways to do it with crossing over the knees and such, but I mostly did a top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know.
So now, because I've never touched anything equipment-wise, the idea of that and like a squat suit on at the same time just seems like uncomprehendable. Like I can't get my head wrapped around it. And I really think, like, my feet already from that little bit felt like they were falling asleep, and that would be like with the idea that you were just getting done and I was running out there right away. Like,
Right.
So I don't know if, like, in a big meet, do people usually have a person on each leg, or they'd probably keep the same person on just for consistency, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess every time I've seen it, it's just one guy. Some people wrap their own, but
Have you ever done that? Have you ever wrapped your own? Even
in the gym, yeah, and that is tight. Like to wrap your own, like it takes a little work to wrap,
and then to sort of recover yourself while your legs are going cold.
because your like fingers and forearms get a good workout when wrapping.
That's almost like a whole different sport to me now, because before I go for a lift, the only thing I'm focused on is the lift. And now the idea of having to be worried about that, how good you're doing with it, and then on top of that, the timing with it. That's a whole other level of complexity to it.
And after having them on, you even without actually squatting with a bar on your back, you can probably tell like it will throw people off a little bit of what their raw, their movement pattern of the regular raw. Like it takes you some getting used to. Like a lot of people will squat differently.
Yeah, that didn't feel like my squat.
It didn't look like it either.
Right.
You actually immediately, I don't know if we'll be able to see on the video, but you actually immediately looked like an equipped lifter. Your feet were really wide and your knees were really wide. And
It didn't feel like that's what I do.
So I'll get Tyler.
Let's switch spots.
Yeah,
Tommy.
yeah.
Chinese fire drill.
That's right.
Unless that's racist.
Probably is. So Tyler, now that I'm in your chair, do I get to just play with all these dials and everything?
Spin them
Wing it. Yeah, just go for it. You'll figure it out. It's not that hard. All right, so it is.
Straighten them out and then point your toe up.
Okay, I'm gonna sort out some electronics. All right, so legs totally straight with tension. Yeah, I found like the second one when I kept it my quad a little tighter, it didn't feel as uncomfortable.
Should I have shaved my legs? Would it have
A
been
waxing would have been preferable.
Do you want to shave my legs right now while you're down there?
As long as you're down there.
That's really tight.
Yeah,
He's really doing it.
yeah.
I maybe from a comfort standpoint might prefer that my wife do this just so it doesn't hurt my knee so much. Man, it is weird when it gets right over the kneecap.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing.
It feels like it's like pulling like the patella actually.
I never consider like what my kneecap's position is in when I'm about to squat, but I probably would here. Holy Christ.
The old loop, swoop, and pull.
Bunny ears. Holy shit, that was
That last
oh my
loop.
god.
And that in a meet, sometimes guys will do it with really long nose pliers and grab onto that.
And yes, that's where all the
Man, I
tightness
am super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh man. This sucks.
Like this more than anything has really got me thinking that like equipped lifting is like a different sport.
I think so. Like
This is just like the basic.
This-
This is raw with wraps. Is
Yeah.
what it's. As far as equipped goes, this is.
just scratching the surface.
Some people just consider this raw.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh-wee.
The
So,
one that's already done really starts to feel.
I actually feel not just like discomfort and like out of position with the one that's already done, but I can feel my resentment for Tanner like emanating out of that fucking knee right now.
You are the worst.
Like,
Do you feel like almost like that left foot, that first one that got wrapped, is already like losing circulation?
yeah. I feel like my knee, like my, I don't know what it is, like my, whatever this is right here is like almost feels cramped or something.
All right, Tyler is suited up.
I'm sweaty.
I need a hand.
Yeah.
That was fucking bad.
Tyler, you need more than a hand. Okay, here we go.
God.
All right, now walk up to the platform, Tyler. We do have a little inconsistency in the wrap area.
There is a little bit of inconsistency.
Yeah, I'm no pro at the.
But like, so
Just walk on around and then get to your platform. Okay. Oh, hold up, Tyler. They loaded the weights wrong. You're just gonna have to hang on for a second. So just chill.
Did you try and give it a squat?
Yep. All right, here he goes.
oh my god.
Careful, you got a light right behind you. Yeah. Yep, he's almost to parallel. Not quite. Yeah, it starts to fight you on the bottom, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the bottom is where like you're like, oh, it's uncomfortable, and then as you get, you're like, I just want, you know what I mean? When it hurts, you're like, I just need to squat. I need to get it done.
Yeah. It's like, I want to squat. Just let me get down there.
But like by the time you get down there, it only hurts worse.
Yeah, it's like something's telling you, don't do this. Don't do this.
It feels good when you take it off, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that bow tie effect where the blood just comes back. Do you want to switch again, Tyler?
Yeah, let's switch
Get
again,
you back
so
in the
I
command
can,
station.
Woo, that was special.
So now you guys can say that you've had those on before.
I actually have, just for the sake of like experiencing it, I've thought about just trying to see
Like, just go for like a PR squat at the gym sometime, just in reps, just to do it.
Yep.
But it would like only be for its own sake, because for me at least, it's not like a significant enough portion of my training. So like I think we've talked about before, like I wouldn't have any problem if somebody who trains to squat in reps, like if that was their PR that they counted. But for me, it just wouldn't be. But I'd probably do it just to say I hit that number. But I definitely wouldn't put it on the board for me, because that's just not the way I squat.
And like the first time you put them on, for a lot of people, you might not like be comfortable enough to do well. Like that happens to people. I know.
I think that would take me. I mean, I know that would take me some training to get used to.
I can't imagine coping with that, and then that like nervous system feeling of a max effort weight on your back. Take a walk out. Right. That's the other thing. Walking out.
Because now you're walking out more weight.
That's it. Well, and it's a weird feeling just walking around in here.
Yeah.
My knees were not wrapped into a locked straight position.
Right.
And they're kind of just a touch bend, and like, so now I understand where someone where Dan was talking about how like walking out with 1,000 pounds is
sketchy,
is super sketchy, and probably I think even more so with reps, because you're not stable like you are moving around in the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You could have knocked me over by just pushing me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And then the other thing too with this, so these are the, what do you say, the slingshot world record holder reps. And this material is kind of different. I don't even really know what to compare it to.
Yeah, this material's tough. Some are more stretchy than this.
Yeah, this really is almost like a canvas with a limited amount of stretch to it. But I didn't realize until we were talking to Matt, or I think, it was Matt at Pioneer, saying, like there's a lot of levels of wrap, stiffness, stretch, material, like all of that factor into preference, skill level, all of that stuff. So
yeah, I think stiffness / stretch and then casting are like the main how you categorize them. Like casting, I don't know enough about it, but just like the way it feels when it's on, like if it feels, I interpret it as like if it feels more like a cast. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You'll hear like Ernie Sr. talk about like casting and tightness, So there's some different things that they measure on them.
And then at the same time too, I think I've heard, was it maybe Tom Callis talking about like when he gets wraps, he likes to wrap them around like a telephone pole and leave them on just to get them kind of loosened up a little bit, because some of them brand new are so stiff that they're not quite broken in. Yeah. So I think it was a podcast he was talking about that one day too, of getting them to like the perfect level of.
And then I know too, kind of like how Jonah talks with his bench shirt, I think people will only wear these for so long until they get a new pair.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So when are we gonna wrap our knees and race 40-yard dash in knee wraps?
That would be funny.
That actually would be really
sprint with wraps.
Yeah. Maybe dangerous. I don't like.
I don't know. Like,
how fast could you, like, if you needed to, if you had those on and you needed to sprint, could like you do a sprint?
Well, it'd be a weird sprint for sure.
Yeah.
It'd be like kind of a like Nazi Germany march a little bit,
Yeah, the old high step.
Yeah, with a little bit of I gotta poop going on at the same time. That'd be interesting. Maybe when we get to 1,000 5-star reviews, we'll do that, but not a moment sooner.
That should be in no time.
Probably.
At the rate we're going.
Yeah. Did we get any of those this week, Tanner?
Yep, we've got one.
Oh, shit.
We're on a good streak of like at least having one, though.
Yeah,
so if you're listening, don't.
Yeah, this is your time. If you're listening and you haven't done it yet,
It only takes one to keep the dream alive.
yeah.
That's right. Last week when you were gone, Tommy, though, we had 2.
Oh, really?
And we believed so much in our audience that we read them both. We didn't sandbag and reserve one for this week.
We knew
nobody
that
showed
this one
up.
was going to come from May 19th from Brad_66. Title, I listened with my ears.
I don't think he's lying about that.
I think that's a throwback to
Better
the
than his butthole or
closeout thing. Do you remember at the end of the podcast, the audio out is like,
Oh, yeah.
you just listen to the Massenomics
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Oh, with your
ears.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's right.
So that means he is a
He listens.
He's a listener,
devout
not,
all the way to the end.
not a YouTube guy.
No. This is a great podcast. Not all that informative.
Oh shit! I really thought we were disseminating a lot of really good information.
But hey, they try. All kidding aside, they have great chemistry and are passionate about what they do. I look forward to each episode. Their passion has inspired me to move to Northeast South Dakota.
Shit, man, you fucked up.
Man. Yeah, if we can convince
Listen,
people to do that.
If I could convince any of our listeners of one thing, it is to not do that.
I'm
Like, if you tried doing meth, do that instead.
yeah. Give that a shot first. Not positive, but this might have been from Brad Neitzel.
Oh,
believe
gotcha. Gotcha.
He's a strongman competitor from Minnesota. I feel like that's why he might have thrown out the Northeast South Dakota.
That makes sense. That would make sense.
So shout out to Brad.
Yeah, thanks for hooking us up, Brad.
He's a pretty strong guy himself.
Yeah.
I think he just competed in a strongman competition this
saw that.
weekend, and he missed a 775 deadlift.
Really?
Like, as it would have been a fucking super gangster deadlift to hit, too. Because it was up, if this is the same Brad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brad Netzel, it was up, above the knee, coming up the hip, and it's strongman, so you get to start hitching, but that motherfucker just started rocking, and I think it just spit him out, didn't it? Like, just kind of spit him out at the end. He just lost it, but fucking close at 775.
Yeah, that's a little bit
So
of
that's
weight.
a pretty strong guy.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
no shit.
So thanks, Brad. If that was you, and if this was some other Brad, I'm sorry for.
Yeah, well, I guess props to both Brads.
Yeah. Good job, Brads.
Maybe it was Brad Pitt.
It could be.
Maybe he was born in 1966.
That could be it.
Oh,
You know, Fight Club, he got pretty ripped, so he's probably into training and stuff.
That's
what
true.
just happened? You ever have somebody roll into your Instagram that likes
All of it.
28 of your posts?
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
A little stalkery.
It might be weird.
Bud Jeffries just liked my comment, though.
Ooh.
Oh snap, Big Bud. Oh yeah, I didn't know if I told you. You know, if I broke through my deadlift fucking thing finally this week.
A big PR.
Big PR.
Oh,
this
yeah.
week. Yeah. I wasn't. I don't know. You know how a lot of times in your program it's probably like not time to fucking max out, but you just kind
Tyler,
of.
it's always time to max
My
out.
thing is, I don't know if I feel like I've got it, and I'm not competing or anything. It's just like, well, I think I should take a stab at it. And so this day in the Cube program was like called for a pile of heavy singles ish. And I was like, well, I'll just ramp them up. I'm feeling stronger anyways. So I'll just kind of, instead of doing this at this and, you know, getting up higher, I'll do all these bigger jumps and just kind of see where I get. Not miss, but just see where I get. And we talked about my double pause reverse deadlift at 475 at the strongman competition. And so this time I built my way up to like 485 and everything moved really fast. And then I was like going to put 495 on, but like, it's kind of one of those things. It's just like when you think that bench pressing 400 pounds is cool, but it's got to be 405 because that's 4 plates.
Right.
And then like, but it works the other way with 495 because it's like,
like,
well, that's
it's almost 500.
that's 5 plates, but like that's not 500 pounds.
Right.
So it needs to be more than 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So I jumped to 505 and it just,
Went
just
good.
snapped it right up. The
Is
key,
there a reason you didn't do the double pause?
yeah, right. I should have just made it harder.
The double pause, up, down, up.
just once mid shin, and then once again just above the knee. But it moved fast. I think the thing has been since about then, because I think after that I expressed my
Love for the deadlift.
hate for the deadlift, like with a lot
Love
of
for double pauses.
with a lot of finality. I think Tanner remembers the conversation. I was gonna give it about until this summer. I was like, I'm gonna fucking like give it an effort. I'm gonna put in little more volume on it. I'm gonna do the deal. But if this doesn't fucking click for me between now and then, I'm starting over and going to sumo.
Yeah.
Like that was just going to be the next thing to try. And we went with kind of the wider stance and a bit of the rollback, like some of the taller strongman lifters do, and that's been, I think that's been the ticket. And now that little bit where they kind of like that I told you was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When you're really wide and they almost sit back on it.
Yeah.
With enough practice now, that kind of actually is really nice and almost pulls it off the floor for you. It's pretty sweet. So I enjoy deadlifting now, which is great. Yeah. Having gained 20 pounds of body weight makes it a little bit easier too, but I'm going to take it where I can get it.
But deadlift is probably out of the lifts, like body weight helps the least.
Yeah.
I think no doubt it helps in bench. Like it helps the most in bench press.
Yeah.
Like the easiest way to get a stronger bench is to weigh more.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's like you want to put 10 pounds on your bench, just gain 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get it.
I've got about 2 more weeks of gaining weight, and then I'm going to start trying to
Just
not be so
lose
fat.
it rapidly.
Yeah, lose it right away. Now I'm gonna start chipping away at it a little bit, so I have something left to look at come summertime. But I put on like 20 pounds in 8 weeks. You know, of just fucking eating an insulting amount of food.
Yep.
But yeah, so the bench went up. So my plan is I'm just gonna get fat as shit, and then PR all my lifts, and then lean
cut it
out,
down.
and then I can spend the rest of my life talking about how
What
I
you
did that
used
back
once.
in the day.
I did
Yeah,
that once.
yeah.
But no, that was good for me. That was a big deal because that's been such a motherfucker for me for a long time.
Not a better feeling than like when your worst lift, when you can enjoy doing that.
Exactly. You know, it was the same way when I started doing CrossFit with like the snatch. Like I could clean okay, and I could do I couldn't do lots of CrossFit things okay, but I could clean okay. But with the snatch, I was so fucking bad at it that I hated it, and I just put in a lot of time. And now it's probably my best of those 2 Olympic lifts. But it's tough at Massenomics because other than Larry, most of you guys are pretty proficient deadlifters and actually enjoy it, kind of.
It took me a long time to get there too. Like when I look at like Ethan, who just recently what he hit 475,
Just missed a 495.
and that's like a guy that started lifting a year and a half ago, weighing like 160 pounds. It's like, God, it took me so long to get to 475. Like, like so long, you dick. Yeah, it
To
took
be
me,
young.
Yeah, it just took me forever. It felt like, and really, I've had more deadlift progress in the last year than I have in like the 3 years before that combined.
Right.
But I think I know exactly what you're feeling, Tyler. Like it's just like, why isn't this get better? And it's like for a while I was getting to the point where like my squat was going to pass up my deadlift. It's like, why is this happening to me? This isn't the way it's supposed to work.
I've got like 2 more weeks before I'm gonna attempt a PR squat here in 2 weeks, and then and that's got to be put up or shut up time because my bench is about to catch my squat, and I don't want to be that guy.
No. As long as it's just 5 pounds more.
Yeah, it's just got to be more. But it is interesting because if we look around like the gym, the guys that we train with, there's a lot of good deadlifters, a lot of strong deadlifters, but the difference is that I was probably the only one running around pouting about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't even another person who's like, yeah, deadlifting blows for me too. So I was like the only person who's like, why is this fucking impossible? Like this is impossible. Why am I so bad at it? And I thought it was funny when we were at your guys' powerlifting meet, Tommy, in Sioux Falls. Your folks were there, and they were talking about what Ryan was going to shoot for. He was going to try to finish around 600, 605. And your, I don't remember if it was your mom or
It was
dad.
my mom, yeah.
She was like sizing me up, and she's like, well, how much do you deadlift? And I was like, well,
Here we go.
well, like, I mean,
just a lot.
I'm
Don't
like,
worry
I'm like,
about
I
it.
kind of got 475, but like it wouldn't have counted here because of the whole double pause thing. And then she looked at me like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you?
She's very judgmental, so yes, she absolutely.
But then what I did say is, it's not what's wrong with me. It's that your boys are really, 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 really strong, and I just am not. I'm just big,
A 606-pound deadlift isn't
not to
you
be
know,
scoffed
right,
at.
right.
Really, at any level, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, but that was my week. That was a good week, and Tanner just had to watch Scuba Steve bench while he didn't.
No, I didn't. I benched the day before. It wasn't even a lift day. I just had to come to cheer him on.
Yeah.
Just 'cause we had someone
Give him
coming
a shirt.
down. Yeah, yep.
But yeah, well, I think that's. Do we have anything else we got to cover today?
I think we've covered the world of Massenomics.
Yeah,
I think we
we'll
brought.
see
I
where
think I
we're
really
at.
brought the heat today.
Locked and loaded.
What's mine? Just say no.
And I guess I did want to shout out to our sponsor, CC's and Nike Freeze. Get huge, but keep comfortable feet. It's a lifestyle. That was one of our sponsors.
Also, Tren and Jerry's. Ice cream for huge guys who don't pass drug tests. Tren and Jerry's. It's a lifestyle. Well, I think that'll do it for us today. I still haven't prepared your guys' little sheets for you guys to read off
what
of.
the
So.
hell?
I was going to take Twitter today.
Oh, great. Tanner's, we're not on Twitter.
Don't follow us on Twitter.
So thanks for listening, though. Make sure you go to Massenomics.com. They're going to find all our articles and such. Supporting the podcast, the best way you can do it is to buy some stuff at the store. Or just mail us money. You can mail us money by emailing us getbig@Massenomics.com.
Mm-hmm.
But on the website, there you'll find all our old archive podcasts, articles, all the good stuff. In the store, hats, shirts. When are we going to roll out the lift hats? Pretty soon?
I was just thinking that we might as well do it.
Yeah, we're just
Might as well
teasing,
do it, I
teasing the
guess.
world with.
We'll do it with this one. We'll tell them.
Yeah,
We're doing
we're
it.
just going to do it.
There's probably going to be some new lift design hats
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Weekend Warrior in a hat form or two. So check that out. Those are going to move like hotcakes. So you're
them
going
while
to
they're
need
hot.
to get in.
It could move like a cold bruchacho on a warm summer day.
We're going to bring the heat.
Locked and loaded.
We're going to just say no. Also,
Can I get custom embroidery on mine?
No.
Also, let's see, what else do we have? YouTube.com/Massenomics. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do yourself a favor. You can also sign up, turn on notifications for that too. So when we drop an episode, if you're a YouTube watcher, it'll pop up right in your shit, and you can just dive in right away. What else? Oh yeah, all the Arnold interviews are still up there. Check them out. I've been looking at our numbers. Literally millions of people are watching them every
to
day.
the point, YouTube might take them down because they get played so much.
If you haven't seen them, you're really missing out.
Yep.
Yep. I covered all those things. Facebook, make sure you like us on Facebook. That's where we kind of keep you guys in the loops on all the new stuff that's happening. And iTunes, yep, iTunes 5-star reviews. Tell us a little story.
We don't want the well to dry up on those reviews. So
No, actually, another interesting thing to do would be if you're going to leave a 5-star review, I would like, if you haven't left one yet, which by my math is like
Still most of you.
99.999% of you, if you haven't left one yet, just when you leave your review, I actually would like to know how the hell you found out about the podcast.
yeah.
Especially if you don't, like, if you're not our moms.
Yeah.
Like, definitely if you're not our moms, tell us how you found out the podcast, because we'd like to know how that worked.
If all the newspaper
sure.
advertising we've been doing across the country is finally
All
paying
local
out.
radio.
All the billboards,
Yeah, all the local
and
radio
AM
ads.
radio shows we've been doing. But yeah, that'll do it for us, though. I'm Tyler. You can find me on Instagram at Tyler F. and Stone. That's Tyler EFF I Stone. Tommy?
You can find me on Instagram at tomahawk_D. Locked and loaded.
The official Massenomics Instagram page at Massenomics, and I'll still be there bringing the heat.
I think I'm going to change mine to just say maybe. my slogan's going to be in flux.
It really
I
depends
figure
on
out
the
something
question.
better. Yeah, what's the question? All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next week. And
You
stay
just
strong.
heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears. You're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.